Hey, what's going on? Everyone having a lovely lockdown? Uh, Hey, Ninja, how you going, mate? All right, that's good, mate. That's good. Bit of a worry when you're sick at a time like this. All right, I'm just getting me shit ready. Wait for a few more people to wander in. Dog's barking his head off for no reason. Probably because the missus just left for work. All right. Just got to get myself straight and organised here. Oh, the kids are all right. They're still out of town. We're just cruising along, nice and quiet at home, so usual. Had a massive sort of fever last night from my first vaccine shot. It was a bit weird. So after I did my stream with Subby, I was a little bit, felt like I was being microwaved. But no, all good today. A bit stiff in the arm, no marks, nothing weird. So hang on. Wardrobe malfunction. Yes, that's the ingredient list on the side of the stream. We're doing a lockdown cupboard raid. I looked through all my shit in the pantry. Turns out I got just about everything I need to do chili con carne. So you got the basics to make a decent recipe one, and then there's a few little extra touches if you want to spice it up a notch. They're not exactly recommended, but you can if you want. Also, I seriously recommend dark chocolate. It is actually a very traditional ingredient, cocoa or dark chocolate in proper chili. All right, just getting my wardrobe sorted. Yes, plenty of spice. All right, hang on. Copping Colt finally caught me live, mate. Thank you and welcome. Nothing too exciting today. I just raiding the cupboard, doing a chili. A few added little extra touches here and there. Let's grab another tea towel. But because we're doing chili, I can't cook outside. I haven't got the logistics down pat for cooking a pot on the barbecue just yet. So we're going to do it in the stove. Alright, I'm happy. Let's go. Sweet. Everything's working so far. So we'll get the prep out of the way first. We're just going to do a nice chili con carne. It's pretty basic. I don't know if mine's any different from anyone else's, but it's what I've got in the cupboard and the fridge, so tough shit. Got some tons, some passata. Yeah, if I need anything fucking else, I'll get it. Alright. So, your basic ingredients. You've got some... That's a good idea. Alright. We've got some bacon. Some oyster blade steak. It was cheap. They're already pre-cut. It's a bit annoying, but that'll do. And I've got some fresh mince. I wanted some thicker grain, but at the moment it's literally a brawl for any sort of meat products. So it was pretty fucking funny the other day when I went to the shops. 2 1 kilo packets of decent grain beef mince left, and had to share. It wasn't very nice. Also, we got some kidney beans, crushed tomato, black beans. It's entirely up to you what brands and what types of beans you like. I like to do a mix. Black beans also make really good refried beans. Really good. And we got green, red capsicum. We've got some pickled jalapenos. It's something I've always got on hand. I'd just about eat them out of the packet if I could. We've got some garlic, smoky barbecue sauce, some cumin and smoked paprika, and I don't usually bother with stock. It's going to get pretty hearty as it is. This one, pimenton picante. I don't know if you can see it. It's a fucking light. Hot smoked paprika. So I haven't tried it yet. It smells amazing. So we'll give it a crack. It's really rough ground too. So fucking camera. There. Smoky. What else we got to go with it? Oil, salt, pepper, brown sugar, corn chips. Of course, got corn chips. You can have sour cream, grated cheese, cream cheese. We can't get queso here, which is usually the sort of thing they put on it. It's like a sort of a cream cheese, but just spreadable cream cheese or Philly will do. Got some coriander and fresh parsley and some shallots from the garden. Some dark chocolate. This is for the bonus round. Real good solid dark chocolate. Needs to be pretty bitter. What else have we got? I don't have any fresh oregano, so I don't even have any dried oregano. Oh, actually I do. That'll do. And really, you don't need to measure with this shit. It's always got a bit of character, so that's all you need. Alright. We'll do our prep. Make sure you got a nice sharp knife. Do your other veggies first, because as soon as you touch a capsicum with a knife, you're going to need to resharpen it. It's going to go blunt. The acid and the capsaicin in the capsicums blunting them faster than smashing them with a brick. It's pretty cool, actually. All right. Hate peeling onions at the moment. Anyway, no, I didn't have to fight a grandma for this mince, and it was just lucky the butcher spotted there was 2 packs left. But this one was this lot of mince is just what a local butcher had left, and it's not. I like pretty thick grain mince, but he didn't have anything left to process, so I just bought that. But we'll make do. Also, another really neat ingredient, I used to put it in my Spanish baked beans, which is a very similar recipe actually to this, just without the meat. Used to put minced chorizo in it. Fuck yeah. So if you've got a minced chorizo, you get all your fat and your spices and flavour out of that. Alright, boys. Capsicum. I'm going to look at my meat stocks here and work out how much veggies I need too. Whew. Right, you little sucker. I didn't have to fight a granny, no. There was 2 left, and I grabbed them and gave one to the lady that was behind me because she was looking frantically for meat, for mince at Woolies. But I needed more than 1 pack, but I had to be nice and share. Shut up, ginger pubes. Dog's going off his tree. Anyway, what have you been doing, Ninja? I saw you before. You were playing The Sims. Busted you playing The Sims. At least it wasn't Fortnite. Alright. Always cut capsicum flesh side up, skin side down. It'll save your knife a lot of drama. I don't give a shit if it's rough as guts. So you can hear that already. It's already blunting me knife. Oh, dog's off his tree. All right. Fuck it. I may as well chuck the rest of the green in. Keep that bit. I'll use that in something else. I think the dog can hear me talking, so he thinks that someone's here. He's out there whimpering and sucking. Alright. Let's try and rinse this crap off my knife. I prefer to, when I'm stealing my knife, push it away from myself rather than towards. Always try to push it away. I have some bad habits, but that's allowed. I'm the cook. Alright, off you go. What else we got to prep? We're going to drain these beans. Do. can of black beans. Fucking ginger pubes. Yes. We had a good, Subby and I had a good run last night on The Ascent. Great game. Now I want to keep the bean water. I know it sounds weird. We're going to rinse the beans off, but we're going to keep the bean water. So it makes a nice little natural thickener if we need to thicken up the chili. Just give them a rinse. I might start heating my pot up. We're gonna chuck some oil in there. Give it a minute to heat up while we get the rest of our prep done. Moist is moist. Hey dude, how you going? Welcome to the Discord, by the way. We're cooking lockdown raid chili con carne. It's whatever the fuck I could find in my fridge, whatever the fuck I could find in the cupboard. So there's a recipe there on the screen as well if you need it. We've just got into the prep. By the way, Moist is Moist. Check him out on YouTube. Pretty funny channel. I like his banter. It's a good dude. He's only just joined the Juvie crew. Hopefully we'll get him on stream at some point. Alright. Give this a quick wipe down because we're going to start meat prep. Wet Chucks wipes. Trade secret. Stop shit sliding around. Alright. So, start with some bacon. Oh yeah. There is a disclaimer that comes with this chili. Be careful how much heat you put in it. I chucked it in the freezer thinking, oh, that might keep that for ginger pubes. Oh, that might temper it a bit because it was too fucking hot. And the missus nearly killed herself trying to eat it because it tasted so good she couldn't stop. But it was that fucking hot. And we don't measure with this chili, so don't fucking worry about it. Any dummy can throw it together. I'm not measuring anything. Rough lardons or chunks or whatever you like. Chili, you want a bit of texture. Yeah, we've got some blades, oyster blade steak, because I had to fight for this too. I've been in hospitality professionally for about 14 years. My mum's a chef and a caterer as well, and I've been probably cooking in some way, shape or form, catering or commercially since I was about 12. So a long time. Not just in the kitchen though, I've done venue management, staff training. I've had my own pubs, clubs, cafes, restaurants, catering businesses. A lot of shit, a lot of years. Had jack of it. Not real good for family life, to be honest. The money was good. The stress and the work near freaking killed me and the marriage. So So we're just cutting these into chunks, and we want something nice and with a bit of some fat and sinew in it, because we're sort of going to low and slow boil this, or not, stew it a bit. And the reason why I want to stew it is so this stuff here gets nice and tender, sort of like a slow cooked chili a little bit. No worries, man. Thanks for dropping in, Moist. Cheers. Really appreciate it. I'll have a beer with you sometime. Good luck at work. Chuck. So we've got 400 grams of meat here, of this beef here, if anyone wants to really know. I don't really need to use all of it, but I'm gonna. And as I said, this is what it was available. And I don't like hanging around in shopping centres during lockdown. I don't like hanging around shopping centres at the best of times. I love it when it's quiet late at night. Now there is a little bit of a party trick with this stuff. While I'm heating the oil up first, we're going to start building our flavour profile from the bottom up. So I need the oil nice and ripping hot. Grab another bowl. This is an off-script little manoeuvre. You don't have to do this at all. We're just going to dump a bit of salt and pepper. A little bit, I say, and I'm like friggin', here I am, Uncle Gordon, fucking loading shitloads of it in here. And a little sprinkle of the old talcum powder, a bit of plain flour. Naturally thicken, but it'll naturally thicken the sauce a bit. But it'll help the meat stay together instead of just falling apart. And I don't mind it falling apart in the meat. I think that's something quintessential to Mexican cooking, is just meat that's falling apart. But this will help brown up and give you what they call a fond on the bottom of the pan. And fond is flavour. Fond is flavour. You just ask Babish. He gets mad horny over a good fond. So that's why I'm not going with the beef stock. I'm going to get all my flavour from the meat anyway. Alright, she's ripping. Ripping hot. Crank that up to the max. Let that brown up a wee bit. I'm going to wash this bowl down because I want to use it again. Anyway, don't be scared to shout out a few questions or comments or critiques or whatever you want in the comments. I don't mind. Don't forget to check out some of the boys. You can join the Discord, more than welcome. We're always sharing recipes, talking shit. We've got each other's backs as well. Promote each other's streaming and YouTube channels. Do a bit of mentorship. We do a lot of mental health talk. Anything really. Alright, that's enough. That's enough for you, baby. Oh, I don't have the bots configured, Ninja. Bucket was going to come and help me set them up because I don't know what's what. Because he uses different bots to what I was looking at. Next big job. I'm going to chuck the mince in. So I sort of want to go, I don't even know if I'm going to use all this mince either. That's a good pad right there, look at that. And we're just going to chuck it in there. Spread it out a bit. So that's about 600 or 700 grams of beef mince I'm using. I'd prefer a really coarse grain beef mince, but I can only get fine grain because, you know, shit is shit. The COVIDs is happening. The COVIDs is happening. Alright, so another little trick here is you want your pan fairly ripping hot when you do the mince. Yeah. Reason being, you want to get a nice hard brown on one side. And we're going to be real careful with this because I don't want to break it up too much. I want it to sort of be a bit chunky. Nothing worse when you're cooking a chili and you cook the mince too long and it turns to sawdust. So we're going to try and cook it into some chunks and go from there. Don't forget, any questions, please shout them out. I love answering questions. I absolutely love answering questions. I've done a lot of years of cooking. I like to share. I gave me mate Cropping Colt a really kick-ass curry recipe not long ago. Malaysian chickpea and lime curry. It's really dirt simple. It's something I'll do on this channel eventually. I did put the ingredients up in our Discord in the Good Food channel, but I was trying to write the method and I kept getting distracted and I accidentally deleted the method. But it's dirt cheap. You can make a shitload of it. It's really healthy. It's really good if you're trying to train or get fit or just want something a bit different in your regular household rotation. So I'll do a Malaysian chicken and lime, chicken chickpea and lime curry in the future. The boss managed to make it, no sweat. He loved it. Said it was easy, and I was pretty impressed with his results. A little bit longer. That fond is looking gorgeous. Do this with your bolognese too. Anything you're going to cook with mince. Try and get a nice brown on the bottom of it. Cook it at high heat. You want a brown. You don't want it to be pasty looking. That's all. And also try and cook as much of the moisture out as you can too. Yeah, that's good. There we go, see? It looks a bit like a burger rather than just opaque. I don't know if you can see that, there's a bit of brown on it. I'm just going to rough break it up a bit. Because we're going to boil, oh, I shouldn't say boil, we're going to stew it for a bit to get the meat nice and tender. And little balls or meatballs or chunks or whatever tend to keep the moisture in the meat better and tends not to end up like sandpaper. I fucking hate that. It's the problem with not cooking with a flame. You lose your heat real quick. Alright. Go back to non-zoomed out. Mince is doing its thing. We'll have a look at what else we've got to get prepped up. I should keep that somewhere else. It's because I'm a fastidious and tidy cook, and I'm a pain in the ass with that. Oops. Oh, there we go. Here's a little tip. Save you a bit of cleaning later on. Let me just switch my camera. And if you don't want to wash the fucking thing up afterwards, because it is a pain in the ass washing containers, use a Chinese container. You can wash them up. No one really cares if you keep them or not. They don't machine wash real well though, so don't do that. Also another good idea, if you're cooking something, boiled water, spoons for tasting, teaspoons, whatever. If I don't use them all, I don't use them all, but it's because I like a specific spoon and I'll keep using it. It's a bit of a pain in the bum that, but it works. There we go, we've got our heat back on the pan. And you'll see it's sort of bubbling around a bit. All that flavour we got out of the meat that sort of turned into the fond is in that sort of fat and sort of stock. And we're going to try and reduce that down as much as we can. I'm going to cook the veggies in it so we don't need stock. All your flavour from your beef is right there. Righty-o. Other prep shit. First jobs first, clean the knife. Quick tip on prep. Do your vegetables first. I always do the onion first because I like the smell of onion, but do your vegetables and your salad prep first. Then do your red meat, or do your smoked and cured stuff. If you've got pre-cooked stuff as well that you're using, do that first. And then you do your raw red meats. You can clean the board in between is always a good idea. You know, raw red meats, don't worry about cross-contamination. Then wash and sanitize everything before moving on to chicken. Chicken is fucking poisonous. I don't know how many times I say it every episode. Chickens are fucking poisonous. Very poisonous. I need something to scoop that meat out and keep that flavour in because it's ready. It's because I'm doing this one pot. So we're just scooping all the meat out, leaving all the liquid in. They're nice and chunky looking. And there's our beef stock. We don't need to do anything else with it. This is how you build a flavour profile from the ground up without using powdered stocks and flavours. We're going to use the fat and the water from the meat and the fond that was on the bottom of the pan to fry our spices in, and then to get fragrant. And then we're going to add our veggies and sweat them down. But there's your stock. It even smells like proper stock, so it's got that going for it. Stick that on me other bench. So that's nearly there. It's nearly all gone. Zoomed in view. So it's nearly the way I want it. Alright, other prep. We're going to pull some jalapenos in a sec. I would suggest if you plan on using the board again to try and keep the area you prep your jalapenos in separate. Change camera. Do 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 do. All right. Let's give these ones a taste. Yeah, they're good. I think that'd be about enough too, because I'm going to add other types of chili and stuff as well as we go. All right, pot's good. Pull that off the heat a bit. Add a little bit of oil to it. Drop the heat. It smells like Vegemite at the moment. I'm going to quickly fry some spices off in it. And I mean real quick. So we've got our hot paprika, cumin. Don't be shy of the cumin. Don't be shy with any of it really. And just let them fry, get a bit of that flavour up. Oh, there it is, there's the smell. Oh, that paprika smells like it's got a little bit of bite to it. Which is good. You don't need to fry your spices long, because we're going to sweat veggies on top of them in a second. In goes the vegetables. You don't want to burn the spices, so we're going to pull it off the heat a wee bit. Oh yeah, there's that smell. That smells like walking into a Mexican restaurant. Just to protect the fond from burning, I don't normally like doing this, but we're gonna. Just a little bit of moisture, a little bit of water. I don't want to burn that fond. Excellent, there we go. That's doing its thing. Fuckload of crushed garlic. Don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen, don't be shy. Put some dried herbs in just to start the seeping. Oregano, coriander, dried because I don't have any fresh coriander, it all died finally. Just let that liquid cook off a bit. And we're going to add another unique little flavour. It must be hot, I haven't turned red yet. I'm trying. They're not hot. They're you know, pickled jalapenos, mate. Decent bite, but they don't make you cough. Plus, I like the vinegar flavour. Now we're going to do, I've got some parsley from the garden, flat leaf, because we've got a bush the size of a mountain. If any of you local lads around here want some parsley, fucking come and get it, mate. I got a bush out there that's just ridiculous. We're taking the stems off. Don't. There we go. Not too worried about the leaves, but because these give a nice, fresh little bit of celery to it. Plus, waste not, want not. I use parsley stalks in everything I can. They give you a really nice little fresh fresh scent, fresh smell, sort of aromatic. They're really good in stocks and soups as well. Alright. Getting a grocery delivery this afternoon, Ninja. I hope you ordered some stuff to make some chili. No. Okay. You big girl. Forgot one little ingredient I got lying around, and I'm very careful with it. It's chipotles and adobo sauce. You get a real nice smoky chocolatey flavour from it. I've got some dried chipotles in the cupboard, but I haven't ground them down yet to make a powder. This stuff does alright too. Adobo sauce is it's a Filipino garlic stew, and they cook dried chipotles in it. You get this nice sort of smoky, chocolatey coloured concoction out of it. Where is it? See, it looks like Nutella with chunks in it. I'll be careful. First time I made chili using it, it was the one that nearly fucking killed me. Absolutely horrifying how hot it was, and I tried to freeze it to I thought, you know, freeze it, let it temper for a month or two, and it might, you know, tame it a bit. Boy, was I fucking wrong. I might turn that a little bit. That's another thing. If you plan on freezing your chili, which I am planning on freezing this batch for sure, be careful how hot it is, because it's going to actually get more intense in the freezer. Lid that sucker up and let it sweat. Trust me, hot stuff in the freezer gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Alright. So we've got our jalapenos. Camera. Ding. Give them a little mince. I like to hide my chili in my dishes. The best thing about pickled jalapenos is if it's not enough, if you're not getting enough flavour out of them, or you don't think you get enough bite, because they taste sort of like a dill pickle. Because they're sort of soft and stewed already, it doesn't take much to add more to it. They'll just melt in the chili. So I use them to make a really nice sweet relish as well for hot dogs. Cranky dog's another video I've got to do. Yeah, buddy, and you get up this way. We're gonna do some Moroccan. We're gonna do a Moroccan feast. It's sort of a favourite of mine, Moroccan food. Make some nice fresh share stuff, maybe even some King's chicken it's called. It's a big communal hand-eaten feast, really. Alright. The other thing we need is some dark chocolate. Take a couple of chunks out of here. You got to watch it with the dark chocolate in these as well. It's very easy to over add it and you get a real bit of chili. You do want a bit of bitterness and you do want a bit of that flavour, so we'll just see how we end up with that. Alright. There we go. Now this is what we're after. That is your fond there. That's everything all reduced down. That's all your flavour. That's all we need to do with the veg. That nice brown sticky stuff on the bottom. That's a good colour too. Throw in the bacon. This is how you build a flavour profile. One thing at a time. Just one thing at a time. Alright. Turn that heat down a bit. Let that bacon and shit get to know each other. Smells good. Making a mess. Chefy's making a mess. I'm happy. Alright. Next up, now that we've got our fond and everything's looking nice and happy together, let that bacon get a bit of heat to it. Now in goes the meat. It's alright if there's a bit of juice on the bottom, let that go into. Very good mix together. The liquid from the meat's going to get the rest of that fond off the bottom. So we don't need to deglaze it with anything. Just know when you need to add moisture so you don't end up burning it. It's the last thing you want to do. Fond is gold. Fond is life. Alright, chocolate over there. Alright, next up. Rid of that. Tin of tomatoes. I'd suggest, if you've got it, some old or leftover salsa that's not off. Chuck it in there. We got some passata. I've actually got an old half bottle from the other day. You're only supposed to keep things like passata. You have to use them within 2 days of opening it. So this one was only opened the other day. Yep. In you go, son. Just see what our liquid looks like. All right. Bit more. I'm going to reduce it down, and I want it to. You got to put some liquid in it so you don't. You got to protect all the food from burning. Protect the pot from burning. Liquid and water is how you do that, especially water. Alright. It's a nice chunky looking chili. Now, because I can't actually stand the taste of tinned tomatoes, best way to get rid of the tinned tomato taste: pepper, salt. Don't use iodized salt, use some proper cooking salt or some rock salt or something, because you actually get flavour from it. Iodized salt doesn't, you just get a chemical taste to it. I'm going to put our jalapenos in. Personal preference on that, how much you add, don't care, knock yourself out. Add some smoky barbecue sauce. Don't know how many is from Australia, but the Coles brand smoky barbecue sauce is actually really fucking good. If not, Sweet Baby Ray's. I like Sweet Baby Ray's, but I like a real smoky sort of shit. And about a tablespoon of brown sugar. The salt, pepper, and the brown sugar are the main ones. When you cook it with tinned tomatoes, you get a tinny taste from them. They lose their salt in the can. They lose that tomatoey flavour. So a bit of salt, pepper, and brown sugar livens them up a bit. There we go. Also, another thing to remember is the longer that you cook something with chili in it, the more capsaicin seeps out of the food. And when capsaicin gets out, it evaporates, which is good because it'll help you reduce the heat. We're going for half a tablespoon. Oh, it's about a tablespoon of the chipotle stuff. You'd be amazed how fucking deadly that shit is. The chipotle and adobo sauce is violently hot. And I've added a whole jar before just because it smelled amazing, and I was like, that's a bad idea. Never again, chef, never again. So we've got our herbs, got our spices, got our seasoning in. The chocolate, the dark chocolate, We add that towards the end, not right away. I'm just being fastidious and wiping everything down. Can't help it. It's a good habit to be in. I used to give my apprentices shit for not doing it all the time. Lid on till it gets to a simmer. Try to think about my life choices that led to this point. Alright. Oil, salt, pepper, brown sugar, corn chips. Corn chips, entirely up to you. I actually recommend make your own. These are the last 2 packets at the supermarket the other day. I like plain, buttery, salty corn chips. 1 packet of those left and 1 packet of the cheese were left. Because when I got there, people were scrambling like idiots to grab shit. It was stupid. It was very, very, very not happy chef when I saw that. Any user. We got corn chips. Alrighty. Once that bad boy gets to a nice simmer, take the lid off. Or turn the temp down a little bit more. Because we want to stew that meat, we want everything to break down nicely. In the meantime, we are going to, quick and easy, do a bit of parsley. So just grab it, twist the bunch off. Try to leave the stalks if you can, doesn't matter if you can't. Try to get them all facing the same way if you can. There, the leaves are all going one way. You just get the rough end, roll this sucker up nice and tight. See, we're rolling it up nice and tight. And then we're just gonna use your finger as a guide. Don't be scared. You'll find your cuts are more accurate if you're using this part of your hand here against your knife, like that. You've got your fingers tucked, your fingertips tucked under. Thanks, Crop and Colt. Good to see you, man. Have a good one, buddy. And then just rock it. You don't need to go hard. Look after your knife. Use a nice thick wooden chopping board. You're just gently rocking it like this. You're using this hand to rock it. Look after your knives and they'll look after you. Parsley's a good one. If you pick it, you can keep it in the fridge. Just grab a mug like I do. Just grab a mug, put some water in the bottom of it. You can keep a bunch in there fresh as fuck for weeks. Another really useful hint for keeping nice little things like this fresh. Shallots, take the ends off of them. Same with celery, take the end off of them. And wrap them in foil. Keep for 3 weeks, a month nearly, fresh. Shallots and celery, just wrap them in foil in the fridge. Alright, another little trick. You're working with a chopping board and you're cutting things up. Get your bowl or your vessel or your container. Move the board slightly off. Scrape straight into it. Saves you messing your hands up. And as long as you've got a bit of practice with it, you won't end up with it on the floor. That's it. Parsley for later. Fuko food. Alright. Now we're going to go back to the chili. bubbling away nicely there. Oop. Clean your board. Always clean your board. Use your hand. There's a couple of little tricks there. If you've got a wet chopping board, it's like a squeegee. Or just get a chucksy. Chopping boards do warp. This one I've had for 10 years now. It's had a beating, but my word, it's good. It's only just started to warp now after 10 years. It's a good board. Make sure you get something that's not too hard. Your knives will thank you for it, because they need something to roll into to protect the edge. Plastic boards are okay. I do tend to suggest you replace them regularly. Wooden boards, it's fine. You can boil a wooden board, gets everything out of it. Rub it with a bit of oil, and gently with a bit of oil after you do a boil on them. Just to get the moisture back in the wood and stop it from warping so much. But wood does tend to heal after a while. It'll slowly, oh, that smells good. Getting like a smoky, sweet sort of vinegary smell from it. Which is good. And I'll just check my prep list. I don't want to stir it too much because I don't want to break up those chunks of beef mince much. And I want that meat to stew a bit. So I'll leave the lid just a little bit like that. If it gets a bit too thick, we'll water it down. Smells good. Like I said, it smells a bit vinegary, a bit smoky, a bit sweet, a bit tomatoey, but you can smell the veggies a lot. And the other thing too is because it's sort of bubbling away, you can smell this sort of sharp smell to the steam. And that's the smell of the capsaicin. That's the chemical in the chilies and the capsicum that's hot. Other thing to remember too when you're cooking something slow or stewing it, flavours like garlic, dried herbs and fresh herbs, even sugar, will dissipate the longer you cook it for. So if something doesn't taste garlic enough to you when you're getting close, it's getting close to ready, add some more garlic. If it's not sweet enough, add a bit more sugar. Because those strong flavours like garlic especially, the longer you cook it, the weaker the flavour becomes. Same goes for sugar. Don't be scared to adjust your flavours. Don't be worried about if you put too much. If you put too much salt in something, for God's sakes, just peel a potato and shove it in there and boil it for a bit. It'll soak up a heap of salt. Just a whole potato. Don't chop it into chunks. Just chuck a whole potato in there. There we go. I'm kind of wary about putting any water in it because I don't want this video to go forever. But I need that meat to cook too. Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Now, thickening agents for chili. You'll be using your bean water and your beans. Once you put your beans in, you'll notice it'll thicken up real quick. And we put them in at the end because canned beans especially are pre-cooked. They're already soft and malleable. They'll just turn to mush, which is not a bad thing. You can use refried beans as a thickener. You can use crushed corn chips as a thickener. I like dark chocolate as my thickener. I highly recommend that you try it. Just chuck some dark chocolate in your chili. Serving it, I recommend making your own chips. I don't have any tortillas, otherwise I'd make some. Just get some tortillas, chop them up rough or into triangles or squares or whatever. In a big bowl, toss them in a little bit of oil, salt. That's it. You can put some spices on there. You got some old El Paso taco mix or fajita mix lying around. Sprinkle a bit of that on them. Spread them out on an oven tray. Stick them in the oven until they're like a corn chip. They're better than corn chips by far. And they'll keep for a bit in the sealed container, a few days. We used to do a house-made nachos, which is basically this recipe, or a pulled brisket nachos. Basically this recipe. and we'd always make our own tortilla chips. We used to serve those tortilla chips on everything. We use them as a garnish for salad. We use them in our nachos, of course, and we'd use them in what was it called? Our ploughman's board. So we'd have some toasted breads, tortilla chips, pickles, salami, ham, salt, pepper, that sort of shit. They're really versatile. Don't deep fry them. You can deep fry them, but the amount of oil you get in them is not worth it. Just toss them in a bit of oil. That's all you got to do. It's bubbling along nice now. We might chuck that on the screen. Let me just check this first. Pardon me. No, that's not what we want. It's not what we want. Not that either. I'll just large it. Alright, I'm going to go have a quick smoke break. You forget how much you want to smoke when you're in the kitchen. I won't be long and I'll be back. If you got some questions, please, by all means, chuck them in the chat. Have a think. I'll be a couple of minutes. Throw some questions in there so when I get back I've got something to answer. We might do a little surprise side dish cook while we're waiting for the chili. I've got a really good idea for something that a lot of people probably missed. If you ever ate at Sizzlers, they had cheese toast. Yeah, smoko, ninja, smoko. But if you ever ate at Sizzlers, they had cheese toast. So I'm thinking we might make some cheese toast. We'll make some nice cheese butter. Do a little cheese toast to dip in our chili when we're done. Alright. Hold on. Won't be long. I'll even put on some music for you as while I'm going. Alright, chef's back. Voila. Bit annoying without all me scene changes, like my animated ones, but laptop is what the laptop is. It's in a bit of a dangerous place. It's set up way too close to the sink for my likings, but we'll be right. Cheers, lads. Stuck at home, grab a stubby. Alright, more kitchen tips. We'll switch over. Right, capsicums. Another one for making them last longer in the fridge. Grab some paper towel. Once you've cut them, wrap them in paper towel. It's real simple. Stop them going slimy. They'll keep for twice as long. The same deal with wrapping celery and shallots in foil. This will keep them from drying out as well, surprisingly. Keeps them moist, keeps them from going slimy and getting soggy. Stops them growing mold as well. Keep for a lot longer. Alright. No one's got any questions yet? Negative. Alright. Give this sucker a bit of a stir, see how it's looking on the bottom. Just get that pot going and try and get any of those spices and sugars and stuff that stick to the bottom up. I think the temp's good now, I can drop it a bit. We're going to go into a stage where we've got to stir it a fair bit here eventually. It's starting to thicken up nice anyway. But we just need to make sure that the meat, the beef chunks are nice and tender, so we're going to leave that going for a bit. Yeah. You notice it'll start to darken up from the barbecue sauce and the spices as well. Give it a nice palate cleanse and taste it in a minute. Alright. Because I hate mess. Because when I'm cooking something, I tend to just hang around in the kitchen and watch it. So I always wipe while I'm going. You'll find you'll have less mess. This kitchen's pretty freaking spotless at the moment, so. Alright. Might give it another stir. Ooh, that spoon's fucked. And give it a good stir before you taste it. Make sure you get all the flavours in one go. Try and get a chunk with a bit of meat. Still a bit watery. Don't burn your tongue while you're tasting something, because it will fuck up all of your taste buds for quite a while. It'll be a pain in the bum to try and taste anything. You can't taste salt. You can't taste the sweetness. I burnt my tongue last night, so I'm not. The taste buds aren't the greatest today. One sec, get this apron back on. Alright. I hate that. Okay. Let's taste this sucker. Smoky. Sweet, very sweet. Almost no heat at all in it. The meat's nice, almost there actually. It's just got a little bit to go to give it that give, break down all the fibres. It's very nice. There we go, there's the heat. Just a little tiny tingle on your tongue. Don't even hit the back of your throat. I've got to keep it fairly mild. Mrs. won't eat it otherwise. Nearly killed her last time. By all means, one of my favourite liquids to put in chili is a nice, good malty beer. If you want, it's up to you. Good dash of beer. To deglaze the pan if you want. Really good idea. Red wine if you want to give it some real depth of flavour, but beer's a good one. Keeps things savoury. Alright, so we're going to do some cheesy bread while that's going. Move you. My fry pan out. And we're going to get some butter and stuff out. And some cheese. Pretty surprised how easy it is to make the old Sizzlers cheesy bread. It's a winner. I need something to mix that fucker in. That one. This is the bonus round. Sizzlers cheesy bread. It's a spur of the moment, so I've got to reorganise myself here. Won't need you. You can go back on the rack. I've got some nice crusty rustic white. Spoon and a microplane. Alright, magic ingredients time. Sizzlers cheesy bread. Do it. There we go. Alright, it's got a block of tasty cheddar. Anything you like. Jack, Colby, Monterey, whatever you want to do. Some butter, a little bit of Dijon, dirty foot cheese. A lot of people in Australia probably grew up with this on their bolognese. It's just a dry powdered parmesan. It smells like filthy dirty feet. It really does, but God, it's tasty. So we're going to grab our butter. Move these off to the fucking side. I'm going to get some nice cubes out of it because we're going to have to soften it up for a bit while we get everything else ready. Don't care how you cut it up, just get into loose chunks. This one's not in my workflow, so I was just like, let's just make some. It's because it's actually a surprisingly easy recipe. And if any of you ever grew up with Sizzlers, it was an all-you-can-eat buffet. Salad bar was famous because you pay like 20 bucks or something a head, and it was an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and they had bolognese that was laced with lard, so that if you had a bowl of bolognese, you'd feel full. I'm going to stick that. It's got a lid, this container. Excuse me. I'm just going to stick a lid on it so it doesn't get any tomato in it. I'm just going to stick it right there where it's hot, so that'll soften up the butter for me a bit. Alright. Bit of cheese. Microplane. The reason I'm using the microplane is I prefer, don't buy store-bought grated cheese in the bag. It's got anti-caking agents in it, which are basically just like a cornstarch or a starch of some sort to stop the cheese sticking together. So when you're making a white sauce or something with a melted cheese sauce or macaroni and cheese, just get some hand grated cheese, because I'm gonna have to move the chocolate into something else. Some paper towel over here out of the way. The anti-caking agent means you end up with this dry, sort of chunky texture to your white sauce, like you get sandpaper in it. So it's not the greatest. We'll grate some more because we're going to use it to top a chili with a bit of cream cheese, because I haven't got sour cream, I've got some cream cheese spread. Throw that on and it'll melt in nice. I haven't really eaten today because I've been busy as fuck with other shit. So I'm itching for this chili. There's a lot of uses for the chili. I reckon have a bowl of chili with some corn chips or some cheesy bread to dip in it. You can make some burritos out of it. Tacos if it's nice and thick after a day or two. Like anything that you cook like this, it'll taste better the next day. Nachos, I always do a big baked nacho, big chunks of avocado is always a great one. Bake it in the oven. I'm being fastidious again. Fucking fastidious. Alright. Cheese, Parmesan, Dijon. I'll whack the chunk back in the fridge. So don't need that. Don't need that. Turn me butter a wee bit. I'll just check on the pot too while I'm going. Shit's getting messy over here. Let's have a look at the pot. Give it another stir. Make sure you get all that sediment off the bottom so it doesn't burn. Nothing worse than a bitter, burnt chili. You see as you stir it, the chunks, the beef chunks will, like the mince chunks will break up, which is what we want. We don't want meatballs in the chili at the end, but we don't want it to be like gravel, like just turns. If you cook mince too long in a sauce like this, it'll just turn to like this like sawdust texture. There we go. Looking nice. And remember, we didn't use any stock. We cooked down the liquid out of the beef and it just smelt super beefy. Right, that's good. I might slap the lid on that for a wee bit so we don't end up with it in our cheese bread. How's me butter going? I might give it a quick zap in the tucker fucker. Couple of quick little rounds. We don't want it to turn to liquid. And I'm going to grab a few bits. A nice crusty, rustic white. I like the Abbott's Village stuff. More bang for your buck. We usually eat the dark rye or the multigrain. We don't usually eat white bread at all in the house because once you get off white bread, you get massive headaches. massive headaches from the sugar and the preservatives in the white bread. So we don't usually eat white bread in the house. Rustic white seems to be okay. But you just go to the old sliced Wonder Bread. Takes a good 2.5 weeks to actually... Takes a good 2.5 weeks to get the shit out of your system with white bread. But do it. Just get rid of it. Too much sugar, too many preservatives, and when you have it again, you end up with these massive headaches. So I've ended up turning that into melted butter, but that's okay. So I'm going to toast this in the toaster, dry it out. I like my toast pretty dark. And we're going to chuck in some Dijon. About half a teaspoon. Don't be shy. Some foot cheese. Don't be scared with this either. Good 2 tablespoons of that. And a good chunk of real cheese. So about 2 tablespoons of that. And because toasted cheese sandwiches just ain't right without it, get out of that. Some cracked pepper. Really brings the sweetness out in your cheese, cracked pepper. Bit of salt. I'm using unsalted butter, so I know we're adding a lot of salt, trust me. Salt is king. And that's it. I'm just going to give it a good mix. So you can people put egg in this shit, you don't need to. That's it. And if you want another little really cool tick, if you want this to brown up real nice when you put it in the pan, which it's going to anyway because it's cheese, a little bit of garlic powder. Started using garlic powder on my steaks because you get a really nice caramelized surface on them. It tends to brown up really well. All right. That looks like cheese butter to me, people. Oh yeah. So I like mine a little bit brown. Don't know about you guys, but we're just going to leave that aside, cool off, and sort of go a little bit stale because we're going to pan fry it in a minute. Recommend you taste everything you make at every step of the way too. Always taste everything. Tastes like parmesan. Pretty grainy. Bit of mustard for kick. So what are we up to there? That'd be a teaspoon and a half or a tablespoon of mustard. Real exciting stuff seeing me mix up butter. Now, I'm happy. I'm just going to be happy. Nobody panic. We've got more than one chuck swipe over here off screen. Slap the lid on him. Let Let that chill in the fridge for a minute. Because it's quite cool to below room temperature, but we want it to chill up and firm up so we can spread it a little bit. Didn't mean to go that far with the melting of it, but it'll be right. It's easy. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright. Parmesan away. Mustard away. So I'm not hearing any questions. Where's Jack? Where's classic Jack when you need him? He's always asks questions. Him and Bucket. Don't think they know how to cook. Don't think they're that confident on the cooking, mind you. Bucket can cook. And Jack knows a thing or two about fine dining. We're going to clean up a little bit and keep out the flavours that I might need to adjust things. Don't need the chipotle. Happy to do some knife safety tips. Still got chocolate. That's good. Lovely. Give the chili another stir and let's have a look at our creation. Yep. Nice chunky chili. Don't try to hold off on seasoning everything until the end, because when you reduce the liquid in something like this, you tend to end up with very sharp and enhanced flavours. So if you overdid the salt or the sugar, you might throw the balance completely off. So just trust in yourself for a bit and adjust it later. Oh, Ninja's back. Hey Ninja, good to see you, buddy. You're back. Nice to see. You missed it. I started making the cheesy toast. Probably before your time anyway, mate. Everyone used to fight over the cheese toast at Sizzlers. Now I'm just being fussy again. I can do a repeat on the cheese toast if you want. Oh, you remember Sizzlers, do you? Well, I'm just making the cheesebread from Sizzlers. So we got some butter. We melted it a bit. We put a couple of tablespoons of Parmesan powder, a couple of tablespoons of grated cheese. Yeah, I had one up north when I lived up north. A couple of them, but they're sort of gone now. So we've got some tablespoon of grated cheese, a couple of tablespoons of dried Parmesan, some salt, some garlic powder, some pepper, and some toast. And we're going to put this butter that I've made on it. And we're going to pan fry it. And that's how you make cheesy toast. Or cheese bread, I think they call it there. I don't think they like it as brown in the toast as I do, but yeah. I might give that a little taste too, see where it's at. Find a chunk of steak first. That's the bit we got to watch. That's a meatball. There we go. Leave that over here to cool down a wee bit. Alright. That meat's nearly there. So I'm going to be too much longer on that. So, noticed a couple of things when I tasted it. A couple of little tricks here too. It's been cooking for a while, so a lot of the heat's gone out of it. So we might add a little bit of pimenton picante or smoked hot paprika. Taste and adjust as you need it. There's always easier to add less because you can't take it out. You put it in, you can't take it out. It doesn't need any sweetness. It's very sweet because of the brown sugar and the barbecue sauce. Don't think it needs salt, but it needs some more spice, and it definitely needs some garlic. As I said, the longer you cook things like garlic, the more you lose the flavour. So we'll go for a half a teaspoon of garlic. Recipe says add this much garlic, add twice as much, unless they've actually got the recipe right. We're going to add what's left of my oregano, and we're going to add some shitload of dried coriander. And this will give it a nice salsa-y taste. A little bit of lime juice. Let's give it a squirt. Bit of acid. You can use red wine vinegar if you want. Lime juice. Don't use lemon juice. Red wine vinegar is a good one. Lime juice. Whole lime. If you've got a lime, cut it. Bruise the shit out of it. Cut it in half. Juice it and chuck the half lime in and let it cook for about 15-20 minutes. Get that acid in there. And take it out because you don't want this to have too much lime flavour to it. But this will make it taste like a real nice meaty salsa. Just another little flex secret. Bit of the old lime juice. Make it taste a bit like a salsa. Salsa's really easy too. That might be a little pull out of my hat, waste some time recipe one day. Tin of crushed tomatoes, some dried spices, some lime juice and some jalapenos and salt and pepper and sugar, and you're done. That's it. That's salsa. Capsicum if you want. Stew it like this if you want. Freezes. Salsa actually freezes remarkably well because it's a tomato-based sauce really. We don't need to sweeten it up. Don't want to add salt because we're going to add chocolate to it in the end. But we do need to drop a couple of chilies in there because it ain't hot enough. That's what happens. Cook things with capsaicin in them and you don't add enough. So that's a good tablespoon of them. Yummy, Chevy. Another thing with pickled jalapenos, you don't have to worry about how many seeds you're adding because fresh jalapenos, the seeds are fucking dangerous. With these, the pickled seeds are a bit milder. Just adjust shit till it tastes right. Doot. Don't leave your knife in the sink. Wash it straight away. If you've got a good knife, it'll see you through for a lot of years. I've had this one for a couple of years. Wash it straight away. Dry it. Get a knife rack or a magnet and hang it on the magnet. Don't put it in the dish rack. Don't leave it in the sink. Fuckwits get hurt that way. Plus, rattling around in a stainless steel sink tends to blunt things a bit. I'm going to check on our butter. Yeah, butter. Oh. Alright. Looks a bit munted because I melted it instead of softening it. But yeah, all the ghee separated, see? But it's getting there. Once it can sustain its own weight and suspend itself, you're golden. Same as with herb and garlic butter. You can keep it in the fridge for as long as your butter keeps, really. You're only putting pickled garlic and dried herbs in it. The only thing in this that'll go off is probably the cheese. Pretty thick now. In you go. Bit of a paper rag. Just because I don't want butter all over my freezer. Fuck off. There we go. We don't want it to go back to rock solid, we just want it spreadable. And no, don't just go and buy a Kraft fucking cheese spread. It don't work that way. You need a butter. You need the butter to act like as a medium. Get those flavours to seep into the bread. Ow. That's what we're doing. Building flavour. I should really do a fried rice video and see if Uncle Roger hits me up. That'd be fucking funny. I'm a bit of a fan of Uncle Roger. And Uncle Gordon. And Uncle Nat. I think I've told this story a million times, but I'm going to tell it again. I got picked up by a Facebook scam. Pretending to be from Nat's What I Reckon's channel, Nat. Trying to give away a PlayStation 5 and $1,000. They were giving away 5 PlayStation 5s and 1 cash prize of $1,000, right? They hit up the wrong motherfucker. They hit me up. Went through the process with them. Got all the details. Figured out who they were. That they had really dodgy Chinglish. They were probably like Indian, Chinese scammers. Picked up on it. Got all their details, even tracked down their website and their IP address, and contacted That's What I Reckon through his Facebook Messenger. Got a reply from his partner Jules about 2 o'clock in the morning. We ended up gas bagging for ages because I'd taken down a fucking scam ring with him. She's a funny chick. Had a good time talking to him anyway. So yeah, that's my claim to fame. I'm a chef that works with computers. I'm a nut job. Alright, we check on the pièce de résistance. Give it a good stir with all that stuff we just added back in. Oh, she's sputtering. Turn the heat down a bit more now, so we just need it to reduce a little bit more. It's almost the consistency of a bolognese. It's a bit chunkier. We're just going to break the mince up a little bit now. Just a bit. We don't want sausages in here. Fuck, you could even put sausages in here. You got some cold sausages in the fridge. Cut them up, chuck them in. That's a chunky friggin' backyard chili if I ever saw one. Cool thing is those little balls of beef in there, the beef mince. They've picked up all the spices, so they've got this nice cumin yellowy flat colour in the middle when you cut them, break them down a bit. Yum. Everything's starting to come together there. That's nearly where I'll be happy. It'll make me happy. Alright. Give it a taste now that we put lime and garlic and more jalapenos in it. Chuck that on the board to cool down for a bit. It's going to cough and splutter. Just get used to it. Don't use you're better off using a wider, lower pot. Here I am being fastidious again. Wider, lower pot. Because you get more surface area so you can reduce things quicker. Get rid of the liquid a bit faster. Tall pots are great, but you got to cook them a lot longer. And they tend to retain moisture a bit more because it condenses on the side of the pot and rolls back in. Yes, I'm not dying either. The missus is real sore from her friggin' COVID shot, but I had the really weird cold hot sweats. I felt like I got microwaved last night. After me stream, I was just like, I had the heaters on, wrapped up in blankets, I'm sweating. Felt like I was microwaved, I was still cold in the middle. What was I just doing these ones? No pain, no stiffness, no soreness. Didn't need to go to emergency. So go get your COVID shot, people. It ain't that bad. Alright. Check on the butter situation here. Taste that chili. That meat's just falling apart. And it's just the right amount of heat for me. Or for the missus. Delicious. Alright. Wash that down. Before I start the herb bread, it's time to add the last few things to the pot. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see I'm not a sicko, I'm not twisted. I'm telling you, beans going fucking chili. Number one, before it gets cold from chucking in 2 cans of wet cold beans, we're going to throw in some chocolate. Keep a little bit. I'm going to melt it a little bit. It's going to darken right up real quick. Make sure it's all melted. Give it a good stir. Oh, I can smell the chocolate, the cocoa in the chocolate. Real intense. You wouldn't expect it in a savoury dish like this, but chuck the chocolate in. Give it a good stir. I don't know if you can notice, but it's darkened right up. Give it a taste. That's good. I'm going to chuck another little bit in. That's good. And the jalapenos are starting to stew up now. That's good. In go the beans. Don't care what you say. Beans go in fucking chili. Americans can argue over it all they want. Don't care what state you're from. Here, beans go in chili. Plus, they're good for you. Beans, magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. There, I said it. I can smell that chocolate. Smells amazing. Alright, what are we doing for time? We're doing good. That's it. Let the beans get to know everything now. Might stick a little bit of lime juice in there. Jazz that up a bit. We're good. There's your chili con carne. I don't know what it was when I was a kid. I think we just used to have the Master Foods one because Mum was in a hurry after work and she'd just get the Master Foods packet, chili con carne, slap it in the pot. But when it was just us, that's right, Ninja, beans. When it was just us at home, my dad was looking after us or something, Dad would make this chili and it was proper filthy. I don't know what the fuck a go with it was, but it always came out purple. Fuck, it tasted good and it just had meat, bacon and beans in it, but it was purple. I think it was because he put dark chocolate in it. So fucking wrong, but so good. Alright. I'm going to adjust this a bit, because we're going to do the cheese bread. Grab your toasty toasts. Get some of this butter. I'll just change camera. Look at that. That's it. That's what I want. It's almost like custard. And get some on a fork. I'll heat my pan up. Now there is a very important method to this. Give it a nice good pasting. I like to use a fork because it helps you spread your liquid around, or you spread around a bit more. All the way to the edges. This cafe around, I used to have this old duck that used to bag the shit out of me because I never used to butter my sandwiches. She used to love a good, big, thick, chunky salad sandwich. She used to always give me shit because I'd never butter to the edges because I was in a rush. If you didn't brush it all the way to the edge with the butter, she'd give you the shit. Same with the toast. She'd come in and order toast. Do the same thing. Oh, fuck. Wrong burner. That's better. A little bit of oil. Alright. Cheesy bread's on its way. Don't waste that butter, that'll be good for something else. Chili, a bit of a stir. That's good, that's nice and chunky. Have a beer, lads. Need that. Cream cheese for later. Now we just got to get that pan nice and smoking hot. Just cut up some shallots, just because I like fresh shallots on my chili. Heaps. We're nearing it. We're nearing the end. Cheesebread, ninja cheesebread. Yeah. Let's see, sucker heck, it's a good knot. Yep. In with the bread. Buttered side down, or cheesy side down. Press it in there nice and flat. Delicious. I just want to press them down occasionally. Getting a nice noise out of the butter. Let that go. Hang on. I had a fly buzzing around in here. He's driving me nuts. Ah, there he is. Because we've got devil's ivy. I'll show you real quick while that's going on. So we've got devil's ivy growing up above the kitchen. Oop. Never mind, there goes my camera. We've got devil's ivy growing around our kitchen window. That's fuck that camera. So we're without that camera. Alright, cheesy bread. Not quite, a bit longer. But that cheese is starting to brown, so we're going to get some more butter. Slap it on the back half. Give it a good spread out. Don't be scared. Get your hand in there. Smell that. God, yeah. Butter's soaking in there. Give it the old flip. Nice and caramelised around the edges. Look at that. If my bread wasn't so brown, you'd be able to see the brown cheese on it. But we're going to just sprinkle a bit of cheese. Just because more cheese is always better than less cheese. Now to fix this camera. Sweet. I'll show you. We've got devil's ivy growing around our, it's upside down, around our kitchen window, as you can see. And you get a fly or a bug or something in here, they bloody hide in it and you can't see them. So it's a bit of a pain. Yeah, we just nail it to, like pin it up around the kitchen window. A little baby one there I'm going to start growing soon. But after I plant my beefsteak tomatoes, I've got another batch of beefsteak tomatoes going in soon. Should be nice. Alright, that smells good. Oh yeah, a little bit longer. That one's done. Now if you're wondering why I put a bit of oil in the pan, the oil actually helps stop the butter from burning. And when you burn butter, you get this wonderful nutty flavour called, it's brown butter or burnt butter. But we're trying to avoid that. Burnt butter sauce is a classic topper for fish. Excuse me, what? If I knew I was going to be making cheesy bread, I would have got a plate out for it, but I didn't, so. Serve this fucker up in a minute. That's good. Alright. Straight on over here. Nice and soft and floppy the way we like it. This is going to harden my arteries like a motherfucker. I can feel my arteries just going, nope, nope. You put another little trick to plating shit like this up. Pick your best bits. Cheesy bread. Smells amazing. And it doesn't smell like dirty foot cheese anymore. It's good shit. It's really good shit. Oops. Right. Now for the real test. Just like a big soft cheesy Dorito dipped in chili. It's going to make me so fat. Alright, better get back to the chili too. I fucked around making cheesy bread for long enough. Alright. Star of the show. Chili. Let's go. That way. Alright, we can turn that off the heat now. It's done. Nothing else we need to add, nothing else we need to do to it. I think it's good. Alright. Bowl. Give it a good stir. It might look like sort of, I don't know on camera. Let me have a look. I think it looks a bit on camera. Yeah, it looks a bit greasy and oily. It's not. That's actually the gloss of the tomato puree. It's not watery at all. It's quite thick. It's not fatty looking at all. Smells heavenly. Alright, people. I'm going to put some half a handful fresh shallots in there, big ass pinch of parsley. We'll freshen it up a bit. Give it a quick stir. Some nice vibrant green in there to break up all the brown. Don't be scared to add a bit more if you need to. More the merrier. Alright. I like a bit of colour in me food. I don't like it to just be beige or brown. And green's my favourite colour anyway, so. Alright. Serving time. Two things to do. Cream cheese spread. Yum. Chilli. Now what I might actually do and full screen it. Do. Bowl. Oh, it's beautiful. Nice and chunky. A quenelle going there. Bit of cheese. More parsley. Side of cornies. Some nice cream cheese. Shallots. Delicious. And that's the shit I found in my cupboard. Camera. That one. This is what we call fluffing in the industry, making the food look presentable. Alright, you're coming with me. Maybe you're not. Might have to excuse me for a minute while I readjust here. Get my camera up. It's probably not the best camera to do this with, actually. Oops. No, it's not. I've got another camera to do this with. Yeah. Swap over again. Sorry, just bear with me while I'm fuck-assing around, people. Lovely. mint. Look at that. Melted cheese, bit of cream cheese, corn chips, cheesy bread. I reckon good job. Now hold on. There we go. Alrighty. Turn off the prep cams. We've had our fun. Let's dive into some chili. Suggest a spork. Sporks are always good. Who doesn't love a spork? A bit of cream cheese. Give it a mix. Make a mess. Anyway, guys. Oh, yeah. Meat's falling apart, nice and sweet. Bit of salty from the chocolate and the spices. A little tiny tickle at the back of your throat, not enough to hurt you. Good and sweet and chunky. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I sure am. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This was Chef of Death. Stay loud and proud. Probably catch me again this week. I'm going to do a few more streams. Yeah. Rock out. Feel free to join the Discord. Love to see you there. I'm Chef of Death. Catch you next time.